Ha! What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live show number 2 here. Today, you might be wondering why I got a cowboy hat on. Well, the reason for that is because we are going to be talking about a movie that has lots of cowboy, well, maybe not lots of cowboy hats. This movie has one cowboy hat in it, maybe two. We are going to talk about Twisters tonight. Got to watch Twisters over the weekend. One of my good buddies, Joe Tambini, came in, spent some time with me, and we watched Twisters together, which was pretty sweet. I haven't seen him in a while, so I'm glad he got to come and hang out and enjoy the land of the free. Let me share my screen with you here. I got a little, let's see, a little picture here for you. Okay, there it is. There's Twisters. That's what we're going to talk about today. Don't know if you've seen this movie. This is not going to be a very long live stream today. Hopefully we get some people in here to join us and comment. Before we get into the movie, it's a twister. Just want to say that we are on every platform you can think of, right? So we are on Spotify now. So if you want to listen to the I upload all these episodes as podcasts. So if you want to listen to these as an audio file, if you don't have time to watch them on YouTube, or if YouTube isn't the best platform for you to watch it, make sure that you get us on, let's see, Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We are on Amazon Podcasts now, or the Amazon Music Store, or a music app, or whatever you want to call it. We are on SoundCloud, right? We're on all these different platforms that you can find us. So make sure you check us out on that. Okay. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, SoundCloud. Check us out on all those. Subscribe to all of them. The more plays we get, the more exposure we get. Hopefully this podcast gets a little bigger. Trying to do as much here on YouTube as I possibly can. Trying to make as much content for you guys as I can, even if that means doing it by myself or having some guests. I'm trying to get the old crew back together. Okay. Trying to get Joe and Mike and Sebi on here. Sebi told me he was going to be in the chat tonight. He's not here yet, but hopefully he'll get here. But in the meantime, I'm just going to talk to you about Twister. So make sure you do that and subscribe to this YouTube channel, please. That really helps. The YouTube algorithm is a fickle beast, and I have one short. I have a short about Mordor, being in Mordor, and being having that be more enjoyable than actually watching Lord of the Rings. Actually, being in Mount Doom itself is more enjoyable than watching the show, and that's getting lots of views. So keep that up. But tell your friends about it. I tried to reach out to as many as our old listeners from our old podcast as I possibly could. I'm sure I forgot lots of people, because we used to have lots of listeners. If you know people who used to listen to the show and would enjoy listening to the show again, contact them, reach out, share the page with them, and help us out, get us some listeners and stuff like that. So maybe we should just get into it then. So this is going to be a spoiler-filled episode. Okay, this movie's been out a while. Not sure exactly when it came out. Okay, it doesn't say it on this poster. I can't see it on this poster, at least. But it came out a while ago. I don't know if it's on streaming yet. Okay, I'm not sure if it's on streaming, but I got to see it on my Superbox. Now, if you've listened to any of the other shows, you might know that I have a Superbox. It's a sweet box, and it gives me access to all types of sporting events that I don't normally have available to me. It also has lots of movies and TV shows for streaming services that I don't subscribe to. Um, so not sure how legal it is or not, but if you go on Amazon, you can buy one of these products. And that's what I did. I didn't buy it from some shady guy or anything. I bought it right off Amazon. Um, so I got to watch Twisters this weekend in the nice confines of my living room. And I have a bunch of cowboy hats. I got about 6 cowboy hats. I wear them very frequently, so I was very happy to see this movie, donning the cowboy hat with my boy Glenn Powell. He's quickly becoming my new favorite actor until he inevitably says something dumb. He's going to say something dumb eventually in the media to piss me off, and then I will not like him as much as you do. As that's very typical, I think, for 2024. Um, I try not to do that. I really try my best. But when people say really stupid things, it really bothers me. But right now, loving this dude. He was in Top Gun Maverick, and he kind of played the cocky Maverick character. To be honest with you, right? I mean, he was. If you haven't seen Top Gun Maverick yet, definitely go check it out. I'm for the people who know me, Top Gun is my favorite movie of all time, and I know every line of the movie. I could do pretty well on trivia stuff. Will and Sean, two of my buddies that had a podcast called Dudes in Toyland, they are enormous Top Gun fans as well. Um, and they would do pretty good. I would actually love to pick their brain on Top Gun Maverick. Maybe we'll do a show. Maybe I'll have them on and maybe we'll do a show on Top Gun Maverick. I know it's been a long time since that movie's been out, but I think it needs a review. I think that would be a good show to do with them because they're entertaining too. But Glenn Powell in that movie plays a hotshot pilot who tries to get on the flight team with Tom Cruise and Maverick and go on this mission. But he's in this movie and he's fantastic. We got somebody in the stream. Oh, it's probably Sebi. Hope it's Sebi or Joe. But this movie was pretty good. So you probably heard some things about this movie already. One of the things that you might have heard about this movie was it wasn't woke, right? There was no woke stuff in it. And I 80% agree with that. Okay. And we'll get into it and I'll tell you what parts I think might have been woke. Oh, it's Sebi. It's definitely Sebi. What up, Seb? Um, I'll get into what I think was the woke part of this movie, but it wasn't. It wasn't a movie that if you hate woke stuff and if you don't like watching woke stuff in your movies and getting preached to in your movies, this is not like that. This movie does not preach to you at all. This movie does not make you feel bad at all. No spoilers, Sebi. Sorry, man. This is gonna be a spoiler filled. This is gonna be a spoiler filled movie episode right now. So hate to tell you. At first, I won't spoil it at first, but I'll tell you when spoilers are coming. I'll make a banner. I got to make a banner for spoilers, if I can spell spoilers, but that'll go up when I start doing spoilers. This is a sequel to Twister, and I got to be honest, never seen Twister. Okay. Twister came out back in the 90s, I want to say. Let's see if I can find out when Twister came out. I'm sure a person in the chat will tell me. Twister movie release date. Hope you can hear me typing. That always makes for good 1996. Okay, this movie, the original movie came out in 1996. And what was I, 14 at the time? People liked it. It was one of those movies. It was, and this is a sequel, but you do not at all need to see the original to understand anything in this movie. Okay, this movie has well, it might have callbacks to the original. I have no idea if it does because I haven't seen the original, but I know that I did not feel at all taken out of the movie or unprepared to watch this movie because of me not seeing it. Got some Got some more bourbon tonight. I don't know what bourbon this is. Last week I was drinking Uncle Nearest, and it was kicking my butt because it was really high proof. I don't know what this is, only because I have a decanter. One of my friends at work bought me a really nice decanter, and I tend to empty a bottle out into that decanter. And once I empty it out into the decanter, I throw the bottle away, and I have no idea what's in it. I'm assuming it's Chattanooga whiskey 111, which is one of my favorites. Sebi says I should be Twister for a few. Sebi says I should be Twister. A few weeks ago, he loved it. Huh. All right. B is his son, and it's capital B. So, and Sebi don't talk too good sometimes. So I'm not exactly sure. I assume B saw his son saw the movie a couple of weeks ago and he loved it. That's what I'm getting out of that comment there. So thank you, Seb. Can I put this on there? There it goes. There he is. Sebi. If anybody else can make heads or tails of that comment, please feel free to let me know what it means. I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. It started off really rough, very rough. But back to what I was saying, you don't have to see the original for this to like this movie at all. Basically, what it is you have your main character who is, her name is Kate. Okay, so Kate and Tyler's played by Glenn Powell. Kate is played by Daisy Edgar Jones. And I gotta say, Daisy Edgar Jones, who plays Kate, is she's not a very compelling character or actress. Now, I haven't seen her in other things. I've seen Glenn Powell in other things, and he kind of plays the same character that he played in Maverick, except it's a guy that likes to go storm hunting for twisters. He plays a cocky, arrogant, kind of cowboy, fly by the seat of your pants kind of guy who, good looking and, tries to, make a name for himself on the internet by chasing storms. Kate, on the other hand, is more of a low-key kind of character in this movie where she's a meteorologist and she's, getting her PhD in meteorology and she's studying storms. And she wants to come up with a way to stop tornadoes in the middle of a tornado. Not stop them from happening, because I think they kind of all agree that you can't stop a tornado from happening with whatever technology they have or whatever. But she wants to be able to stop a tornado that is currently going on, which is it's dangerous. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched these tornado movies or these storm chaser things. Like, tornadoes are no joke. I live in the South now, and like, I'm not in Tornado Alley where this is taking place. This is taking place in Oklahoma, where they get Oklahoma and Texas is called Tornado Alley, and they probably get 150 to 200 tornadoes a year. If not more. I could be wrong with that. But where I live, it's called Dixie Alley. And it's like, it gets a lot of tornadoes, but not nearly as much as Tornado Alley. And there's actually a callback in this movie, or I don't want to say a shout out, but there's a part of this movie that is a recreation of a tornado that happened in Kentucky a couple years back. But I'll get to that later. But she wants to try to stop these tornadoes. So she comes up in her PhD program. She comes up with this idea of getting these chemicals. I forget the name of the chemical. Doesn't matter really. And if she can somehow get this chemical into the funnel of the tornado, she thinks that the chemical will draw out the moisture in the tornado and therefore stop the tornado from spinning. That's her whole thing about this movie. Her whole goal in life is to try to stop tornadoes with this chemical. So the movie is basically about her trying this when she's in college, and it doesn't necessarily work. And then she has to try to revisit this later on in her life. And Glenn Powell helps her to kind of realize that dream of, stopping tornadoes. So it's a fun summer movie, lots of action, tons of tornadoes. It's called Twisters. And I've heard a lot of people say, oh, it's called Twisters because there's two twisters that combine in the movie. That's like a 2-second or a 2-minute part of the movie. It's not called Twisters because there are two tornadoes happening at the same time. It's called Twisters because it's the sequel to Twister. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think now, because that's the gist of it. There's nothing else to this movie. It's not a film, so to speak. It's not complex storyline. It's this girl wants to stop tornadoes, and Glen Powell's going to help her get to it. And maybe there's some love, maybe there isn't. We'll get into that now. So I'm going to say, Seb, that we're gonna have spoilers. Okay, so there it is. It's on the screen. You're getting spoiled now. So if you want out, this is where you got to drop out. Okay, I gotta say, if you're gonna watch this movie, you ain't watching it for the storyline. So the spoilers might not really mean anything to you. All right, but spoilers are a miss now. So here we go. All right, so the movie opens up, and I was very excited to watch this movie because of its lack of wokeness that I heard about from other reviewers on the internet that I follow, right? And if I didn't hear those other reviewers tell me it's not woke, I would have thought it was woke in the first 10 minutes. Why is that? That's because you are introduced in the first 10 minutes to the most annoying Gen Zers. It's a team of Gen Zers. I think it's Gen Z. College kids, 22, 23-year-old college kids. And they are highly, highly annoying. And you kind of want them all to die in a twister. Okay. And the movie does not disappoint. There's about 6 or 7 of these individuals at the beginning of the movie, Kate being one of them. And another person, Anthony Ramos. Let me see if I can get a picture of this guy, Anthony Ramos. I pulled up the cast of this movie, and everyone shows up except for Anthony Ramos. Every picture shows up except for Anthony Ramos. First, let me pull up the cast for you so you see what I'm talking about. Okay, let me see if I can get the cast here. Okay, so here is the cast. Okay, so you have Glen Powell, who plays Tyler. He comes in a bit later in the show. You have this lady who I don't recall seeing her in there. I wish I saw more of her, to be honest. Yikes. I don't remember who Addie is. Who's Addie? You should have seen more of Addie. I'll tell you that. Here's Kate Carter. Hey, Mikey Hers entered the show. What's up, Mike? Wow. There you go. We're doing some twisters here, Mikey Hers. Yeah, Mike, I want to say thanks to Mike for helping me out with the intro. We almost got it perfect, Mike. I almost got it perfect today. I was a little short on taking the intro off, but almost got it. But here's Daisy Edgar Jones. She is Kate Carter, who's supposed to be the love interest of Glen Powell in this movie. Anthony Ramos right here. Don't know why the face isn't showing up. He's the worst part of this movie. And I'm going to get a picture of him in a minute. Maura Tierney plays Kathy, who's Kate's mom. And she was in ER. She's of ER fame. That's where I know her from. And she's supposed to play, all of these people live in Oklahoma like their entire lives. And they're all supposed to be born and raised in Oklahoma, but none of them have an Oklahoma accent. And it really throws you off because they're born like, I live in the South now, and I sound like an absolute idiot living here because of my accent, right? I do not sound like I'm from here. And people, as soon as I open my mouth, people know you ain't from around here, are you? Right? So as soon as all of these people open their mouths, except for Glen Powell, he can pull it off. But all of these people that speak in this movie sound nothing like people that live in Oklahoma. If you want to know what a person from Oklahoma sounds like, look up Cowboy Kent Rollins on YouTube. Okay. He is he's a chef that does all his cooking like in outside in like he does cooking for like dude ranches and stuff like that. right? And he's like a native Oklahomian. I don't know what you would call them, but he that's what a Oklahoma person sounds like. None of these people sound like they're from Oklahoma. Let me find a picture of this Anthony Ramos kid. Anthony Ramos, he I've seen him in 2 movies now. And in both movies, he was god awful. This guy, he's not a good actor. Well, you know what? That's harsh. That's harsh. He's not a good actor for the 2 movies I've seen him in. Let me see if I can open this up for you. Open image. There we go. So let me just share a different screen here. Anthony Ramos. This is Anthony Ramos. Okay. I've seen this guy in 2 movies. One, I saw him in Transformers Beast Wars, or whatever it was called, that last Transformers movie. And I've seen him in this movie. Okay. This dude is supposed to have grown up in Oklahoma. Okay. He plays a storm chaser with Kate. He went to college with Kate, and he plays a kid who goes to school in Oklahoma, born and raised in Oklahoma. He might have even been from Florida. Okay. Yeah, it was Beast Wars. And he has a Queens accent. Okay. Like, this dude sounds like he's from the hood in Queens, New York. Not even like, it throws you off. Like, it just takes you out because none of them sound like they're supposed to be from the Midwest, right? Or the West, right? They're not even Midwest would be like, Michigan and Ohio and Illinois. This is a Western people, right? So Kate doesn't sound like she's from the West. This dude definitely doesn't sound. He sounds like he's from, one of the western boroughs of New York, not West United States. And the mom is terrible. The mom's, and like, she tries to go in and out of the accent, and it makes it even worse. It's even worse than like Scarlet Witch, the girl who played Scarlet Witch. I forget her name. One of the Olsen twins. I think she was one of the Olsen twins. I really hope she was. If that's not true, then I'm an idiot. But what's Mike Hurst saying here? Steve wanted Brie Larson. Oh God, I'm not a Brie Larson fan. I'm not a big Brie Larson fan. She's all right looking, but you know who I am in love with? I'm in love with Blake Lively. But I digress. She's a good one. But this dude's horrible. This dude's absolutely horrible. Yeah, it is one of the Olsen twin sisters. Absolutely, yeah, I thought so. Who played Scarlet Witch? She goes in and out of that Russian accent or whatever Sokovian accent that she's supposed to do, and not good. Not good. But this guy doesn't even try. This guy just totally sounds like he's from Queens. I don't want to say he was terrible in Beast Wars. I think Beast Wars was just a crappy movie, and he just happened to be in it. However, I gotta say that this dude's role, Anthony Ramos's role in Twisters, was limited, which I was very happy about. At the beginning, you think that he's going to be in it for a long time. So the movie opens up, and you are introduced to 5 or 6 or 7 Gen Z hipster kids that are chasing tornadoes. And they're like way too happy to be doing what they're doing. They're all smiling and making jokes. And it's like, dude, there are freaking tornadoes everywhere. You really need to be taking this shit serious because it's dangerous, right? And it ends up that all of them die. They all get sucked up by a tornado in the first 5-10 minutes of this movie, which is fantastic because they're so insufferable as characters. The only 2 that survive are going to be Kate and let me get the cast back up. The only 2 survivors are going to be Kate and Anthony Ramos. Okay. Now you don't see what happens to Anthony Ramos. You assume he's alive because you don't see him get sucked up by a tornado, but everybody else gets sucked up by a tornado. And then it fast forwards 5 years. 5 years later, Kate has moved to New York City, where she's a meteorologist for. I don't know if it really tells you who she's a meteorologist for, but you can tell she's on the rise, right? She's in this company. I don't know if it's like the National Weather Service or something like that, but like the people at her company are really have faith in her, right? So they show you that by this one dude is at his computer tracking a weather system, and he says something, and they say, Kate, what do you think about this? And she comes over and she gives her explanation because she's so awesome, because she's the best. And she's able to make a better estimate on the storm on the screen than the guy does. Typical 2024 move. And that just shows how smart she is about storms and stuff like that, right? She is a very boring character, like an actress wise. Like, she has like zero charisma. She kind of looks like Emily Blunt a little bit, the girl from Quiet Place, with the way her hair kind of falls in this movie a little bit. And she has that kind of stoic face. She has like kind of resting bitch face all the time. And I guess it's because all of her friends died. Like, all these people in the tornado that she was working on for her PhD in the first 10 minutes of the movie, they all got sucked up. So maybe she's just really angry and bitter about that 5 years later. It could be. But we don't know. Let's see what Sebi say here. He says, okay, so the storm chasers are kind of the same way in the first movie. Overly excited about this chasing tornadoes, talking about how extreme it is. Okay. All right. So like I said, they might have just remade this movie beat for beat. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But these were like hips. Like, I'm so overly sensitive to stuff now. Like, I'm so angry at the world. And like, anything that's like slightly like considered to be woke or new or progressive just really like gets under my skin. But I was trying my best to stay focused, and I'm glad I did, because the movie got way better as it went on. It got way better. But so they show her in the office, and she goes out for lunch or something. She gets a visitor, and who's the visitor? It's Anthony Ramos. This is 5 years later, right? So then now Anthony Ramos isn't dead. So Anthony Ramos works for a company. I forget the name of the company. It's not important, right? It hardly ever comes up. But he works for a company, and they say he's an ex-Marine, and that he wants to use marine technology, or technology that he found when he was in the armed services. He wants to try to use this technology to stop tornadoes. And he thought that she would be on board with that, since that's what she wanted to do her whole life, right? Oh, Mike Hurst, here's a good comment here. I've abandoned watching new movies / shows because of all the woke. So, dude, I don't watch anything anymore. The only show that I watch on TV is House of Dragons, and I refuse to watch other stuff. I heard The Boys went downhill. I want to watch Suits. I heard Suits was really good. I also want to watch The Bear. Okay, I think it's called The Bear. A bunch of people have told me to watch The Bear, so I gotta check that out. But there are so many things that I just can't get into because of the way things are. And I don't know if it's just that I'm old, or if it's just that things are getting weird. But it is what it is, right? What am I gonna do? I'm lucky I even watched this, because normally I wouldn't have even watched this. So Anthony Ramos comes and says, listen, I really could use your help to try to use this technology to stop storms from happening. Would you come and work for my company for a week? Because there's these crazy storms going to happen in Oklahoma. So she says yes. She goes down to Oklahoma, and she meets up with the team that Anthony Ramos is leading, right? So he works for this corporation. It's his business. He owns the business, but he's trying to make it a big corporation. And this is where you meet all the other characters. You meet Glenn Powell at this point. Basically, what happens is they go to this gas station, and they all meet up, and they meet up with the team. And there are these cells that are being created. All these tornado cells are being created, and all the storm chasers are kind of congregating at this gas station. So it's Anthony Ramos's team with Kate, and then Glenn Powell's team pulls up, and they're all badasses, right? So Glenn Powell's the big badass with his cowboy hat and his aviator sunglasses and his big pickup truck. And he has a team with him, and his team is his like YouTube streamers, right? One of the guys in his team does like the editing for his YouTube stream. Another girl in his team flies a drone around the tornadoes to get it on his YouTube channel. There's another dude who's like and his whole crew is completely diverse, right? You have like 7 or 8 people who are very, very diverse. You got like the hipster dude who holds the camera for him. You have the girl who you don't know if she's a boy or girl, how she identifies, but she's there and she like sells t-shirts for him and stuff like that. Then you got the computer nerd black dude. Now this is a new character that shows up in so many movies now, and I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I'm not sure if um that they're trying to push for black dudes in like computer like jobs, but in all of these movies you watch now, there's like a nerdy black dude. It's like a trope now. Like Kong versus Godzilla, nerdy black dude, computer guy. Transformers, nerdy black dude, computer guy. The CW, nerdy black dude, computer guy was like part of, I forget what team he was on. I don't know if he was on the Captain Adam show or whoever that was. But that's like a new trope now, and it's kind of annoying because it's just it doesn't work. Like I just not because they're black dudes, but it's just like I don't know. They just seem very awkward, and it just seems like a waste of a character. I don't get it. But his whole team is diverse. His whole team is there. Then you have like amateur kind of storm chasers that show up, but it focuses on Anthony Ramos's team and Glenn Powell's team. And these storms are forming. These 2 storms are forming, one in the east and one in the west. And they don't know which one they're going to go chase, right? So Glenn Powell's team is going to go chase one, and Kate's team is going to go chase another. And they kind of fight over the storms and who's going to watch the storms or who's going to get the best footage of the storms, right? They get there and they start chasing the storms, and it's pretty cool. This is what the whole movie is. The whole movie is them chasing storms and trying to get footage and outdo one another, right? Glenn Powell's trying to outdo Kate. Kate's trying to outsmart Tyler or Glenn Powell for his YouTube channel. What ends up happening is you end up finding out that Anthony Ramos has some ulterior motive, right? Because all of a sudden you see Anthony Ramos meeting with a guy that looks like Boss Hogg from the Dukes of Hazzard. He's got the big cowboy hat. He's got the white suit with the bolo tie and the cowboy boots, and he's driving a Cadillac, and he's talking to Anthony Ramos. And basically who this guy is, I'm calling him Boss Hogg because I don't know his real name. But basically this guy wants to buy land from the people whose houses get destroyed from the tornadoes. So Anthony Ramos shows him where the tornadoes are going to hit so that Boss Hogg can then go and buy up the land cheap from the people who lost their houses so that he can then, I guess, build houses on them and make profit off it, right? It doesn't sound very, very sinister to me, but they make it out to be really sinister, right? So this is not what Kate's about. Kate is not about trying to profit off people's losses, right? So she gets mad at Anthony Ramos, and she kind of joins up with Glenn Powell, who plays Tyler. You think they're starting to get some type of connection, right? He's really trying to like hit on her and break the hard outer shell of Kate throughout the movie. And he does in a sense, and he kind of convinces her, listen, Boss Hogg and Anthony Ramos are doing the wrong thing. I'm trying to do the right thing, because what you find out, like they make Glenn Powell out to be like this very arrogant, self-centered dude. But in reality, he's really trying to help people with his YouTube channel. All the profits that he gets from his YouTube channel and stuff like that, he uses those profits to then like buy meals for people whose houses get destroyed. And you don't see that right away, right? You see the arrogant side of him. You see the boastful side of him. And Kate doesn't see that until they pull up to a tornado and all the houses are destroyed and he's giving out food. And you find out that like all the t-shirts he's selling with his face on it that she thought was really, stupid and arrogant. You find out that he's selling those shirts to buy food for people for the houses that they lost. I don't know if you hear what's going on in the background, but my daughter's getting in trouble. You guys let me know if you can hear it or not. It's epic. This is why I usually wait to do this later, but because I'm behind an hour, I try to get this out for you guys. But she's getting in so much trouble. It's amazing. So Glenn Powell eventually goes to Kate's house that she grew up in. And her mom, Kathy, who has the worst Oklahoma accent in the world, cooks him dinner, and he stays the night, and he starts talking to Kate, and they go to her barn, and you think they're going to kiss in the barn, but they never do. But what they do find in the barn is like Kate's like PhD thesis. And Kate's PhD thesis basically shows you what they were trying to do at the beginning of the movie, which was try to release this chemical into the tornado to stop the tornado. And Glenn Powell's like, well, this could work if we just tweak this and tweak that and MacGuffin this and MacGuffin that. And they're like, well, let's try it again. Let's fool around with the numbers and let's try to do your thesis again on another tornado, because all these tornadoes are happening at the current day. So she agrees, and that's basically the rest of the movie. The rest of the movie is them trying to redo her thesis so that they can see if tornado is going to see if she can disrupt tornadoes. So at the very end is a massive, massive tornado. It's like an EF5, which is the biggest tornado that you can get. And they're chasing this tornado, and they don't think they're going to get to it in time, right? It's heading towards a town. They don't think they can get to the tornado in time. So they decide, we're not going to try to stop the tornado. We're going to go help people. Forget the fact that we're going to try to stop the thing with this chemical. We're going to just go try to save people from the destruction. So they go to this town, and they tell everyone to get into this movie theater for safety. And this is where I said before, there's a callback to a recent tornado in Kentucky. They tell everybody to go into this movie theater, and the tornado's coming, and Kate decides she's going to be the maverick here, and she's going to drive the pickup truck that has all the chemical to the heart of the tornado and release the chemical into the tornado. So she leaves Glenn Powell behind in the movie theater with all the people, and it gets right down to the last minute. People are getting sucked into the tornado, and walls are getting ripped off of the movie theater, and you don't know if she's going to make it or not. And she releases the chemical into the tornado, and just at the last minute, it stops the tornado. Thank God. And everyone that was in the movie theater basically survives. There might have been one or two people that got sucked through a hole in the wall, right? So now picture this old movie theater, big silver screen at the front and like balcony seating and stuff. The screen, the wall that the screen was on got sucked out by the tornado. So just imagine you sitting in a movie theater and looking towards the screen, and instead of the screen being there, it's outside. Like the whole square of the movie screen is gone, and you're looking outside of the movie theater. That actually happened in a Kentucky movie theater during a tornado. Let me see if I can find it. Kentucky tornado theater. Let's see if I can show this to you. So let me stop this screen and add a new screen here. Okay, let's see I don't know if you can see this. Let me try to open up on a new window here. Okay, here we go. I got a new picture for you. This. Okay, so this is the actual movie theater in Kentucky. Okay, there was a tornado in, I think, 2019 or 2020, and the tornado ran through this town in Kentucky, and the screen got pulled out. So this is a real picture that someone took. This picture won awards and stuff like that. But they did this exact scene in the movie, right? This exact scene was in the movie. Okay, Mike Chris says, hold on, someone got sucked through a hole in the wall. Yeah, but it was a big hole. So like it was the whole of the movie screen, right? The movie screen hole that was here. People got sucked through that, not through like a pinhole in the wall. That would be something. That'd be pretty gruesome. You just squeeze like a tube of toothpaste out of the wall. That'd be something. Um, so yeah, so that's the big climax of the movie, right? You have this big tornado. Kate basically saves everybody, and Glenn Powell helped her do it. So they have that kind of relationship where she thinks he's a jerk at the beginning. She realizes he's not a jerk, and kind of warms up to him, and then he helps her kind of save the day, which is great. Anthony Ramos, the worst actor in the world. He is all every time he is on screen, the movie takes a dip, right? I don't know if you guys have ever seen like when they have like political debates, they give the people who are listening to the debate like a dial that says like, do you agree or disagree? Do you feel positive or negative about it? And like if you were to have one of those for this movie, like every time Anthony Ramos is on it, you'd be disinterested. And every time he's off the screen, you'd be way more interested because he's terrible. He's just not good in this movie. He kind of turns a new leaf at the end. He kind of tells Boss Hogg, you get out of here, Boss Hogg. I'm not into this. I got to do the right thing. And you're kind of hoping and expecting Glenn Powell and Kate to kiss at the end. But God forbid there's any type of romance in 2024. I don't know what's going on. Like I don't know if any of you out there can tell me why there is no romance in movies anymore. But like there's no way Glenn Powell and Kate shouldn't have hooked up and gotten together at the end of this movie. Like there's no reason for it. There's no reason why they should not have shared an embrace or a kiss, or at least exchange phone numbers, or say, hey, can I see you again? And give a wink. There was like nothing at the end, right? She goes off into an airport to go back to New York. He drops her off at the airport. And then like, as she's entering her terminal, he runs out of it. He leaves his car, and you can't leave your car at the airport, like drop off point, right? The cops are just insane about that. They'll run you off like crazy. So he leaves his car there and runs in to go get her. Like he's going to go, grab her and kiss her, right? This is exactly what he should have done. Right. But he pussed out, and her flight ends up getting delayed because there's a tornado, and they just kind of walk back together like, oh, my flight's delayed. Let's go walk away to somewhere else. And you never know where they walk away to. But there's no reason why there shouldn't have been a kiss or a hug or an embrace or a, hey, let's go out, let's hang out. I think you're really cool. Like there was none of that stuff. Right. So just some takeaways from this. I'm just going to look at my notes to see what else I missed, because I'm sure I missed a lot while my daughter was banging on the door trying to get in. There was a rodeo in this. Okay. Rodeos are great. I love rodeos. Gotta love rodeos. Horses probably died. There was a tornado that ripped through the rodeo. So I'm sure a bunch of horses died. The best thing about this movie was the soundtrack. I absolutely loved the soundtrack. It's all country music, which is fantastic. Let me see if I can find the soundtrack list. Twisters soundtrack. See if I can find any of this. Oh my God. Oh, let's see. Twisters, the album. Here we go. Let me see if I can show you this. Does anybody have kids? Because if you want an extra one, I got one for you. She might get you angry during a podcast. Let's see. Mike Hurst says, I'm sold. I love country. Here's the list. Ain't No Love in Oklahoma by Luke Combs. Steal My Thunder by Tucker Westmore. You got Warren Zeters in there. You got Lainey Wilson in there. Miranda Lambert, Thomas Rhett, Morgan Maroney, Bailey Zimmerman. I mean, it's a absolutely great soundtrack. Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, okay, Sebi. Definitely not. Okay, Mike's maxed out with 3 kids. No, Sebi doesn't want any either. Yeah, the soundtrack is fantastic, and it's constant throughout the whole movie. All you hear is cool country music throughout the whole movie. What were some other things? Oh, For those of you who know me, I'm a fireworks fanatic. I buy thousands of dollars of fireworks and shoot them off every 4th of July. And Glenn Powell, to be different and be really cool on his YouTube channel, he puts fireworks into his pickup truck and then drives into the tornado and shoots off the fireworks into the tornado like a badass, which is really, really pretty cool. Thomas Rhett, Beers with Jesus, great song. Give it a listen. You haven't heard it. I saw Thomas Rhett in concert about a month or two ago. He played like 30 songs and I knew about 26 of them. He was really good. Yeah, love Thomas Rhett. I love Lainey Wilson. I've seen Lainey Wilson in concert twice. My daughter loves her too. The one that's ruining my live stream. But so that was pretty cool. The fireworks are pretty cool. What else was there? Anything else I got in here? No. I think that's about it. So pretty decent movie. I mean, it got better as it went on. Like I said, at the beginning, I was very nervous at the beginning. I didn't know if I was going to last, but then the tornado got everybody. It killed everybody I wanted dead. So that was good. So it sucked them right up. And then it ended fine. It's a fun summer action movie that you're not going there for the story. You're going there for the action. You're going there for the special effects and stuff like that. And it absolutely delivers. So tell me what you think in the comments. I'm going to post. This will be posted on YouTube. This will also be posted on the podcast stream if you're hearing it. Thanks to all the people in the chat, all the 2 people in the chat. Sebi, thanks for hanging out. Mike, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Hopefully I can get you guys on the show. If you guys want to review a movie, let me know and we'll get together. But till the next time, see you guys later. Peace.